Yo, what's up guys? We got pokeaimMD here. Today we're going to be talking about the Pokemon Sword and Shield tier changes for May. And first off, I just want to say that my boy TYRANITAR survived the dropping. I honestly don't think TYRANITAR would have dropped at all. I'm just going to show you usage stats for it. I don't think 8 videos by me and Blunder made TYRANITAR's usage jump up this much if Pokemon like Mimikyu, Grimmsnarl, and Keldeo didn't drop when they were so close. That's my personal opinion. I also know that FLCL, who has been, well, fully Keldeo, who's been doing really well in tournaments, used TYRANITAR recently with a Hippowdon team. So while I do think, well, I know that what we did definitely affected how high its usage is, don't believe it would have dropped, because the only drops that we have this right now was the Duck Trio and Ditto. So yeah, we'll be going back and forth between that. I mean, I'm happy TYRANITAR survived. We'll see what happens next month. But like I said, I don't think there's any way that TYRANITAR would have jumped below Ditto and below Duck Trio in usage. That's my personal opinion, right? Like, I see just as many TYRANITARs on the ladder as I see freaking Jirachis. I actually don't even see Jirachi that much on the ladder as well, even when I watch like some of the just higher games just for fun. But like Mimikyu, Grimmsnarl, and Keldeo just fell short of dropping a UU. I think that would have been a really interesting meta. I think Grimmsnarl is going to be the coolest one when it eventually drops, because I think it has, besides dual screens being amazing, especially for Pokemon like Haxorus, I think it will be so cool to see like offensive Grimmsnarl, because I think Grimmsnarl is amazing in Draft League because you actually get to use a Grimmsnarl to its most like highest potential, right? Whereas in OU, you're kind of stuck using a specific type of Grimmsnarl, usually dual screens, because that's the one that helps support the team the most, whereas setup ones aren't the best. Though, like, in theory, I'm sure a setup one could be really cool, because like a bulk up Play Rough Life Orb set maybe, or like even Power Whip to Lure Toad. But if you look at usage, Clefable is at 41%, and that's a damn shame that this Wish Protect Teleport Mon is really running the metagame. Like, look at the drop off after that. After that goes Corviknight 28%. Like, I think it's interesting though that the more or less top 4 have kind of not really moved much. Extrio was up there for a little bit too, but I think it's very interesting because like Corviknight, Dragapult, Seismitoad all been around the same area. Corviknight was like, I think number 1 at a point. Dragapult was number 1. I think Seismitoad was number 2 or number 3 at a point. Clefable was up there too. So obviously Teleport is definitely kind of running OU, and I mean it makes sense too if it allows for chip damage to not really exist. And Pokemon like number 8, Dracovish, on the ladder are so limiting that number 4 has to be ran. And I do think that something should be done, whether it be a suspect test for Dracovish itself, whether it be a suspect test for Clefable, or a suspect test for Teleport. But I don't think a suspect test for Teleport is mandated, because I think I used the right word there. Sorry, it's a little early. Because I think that in order to do that specifically, you would have to say that Teleport is broken without a doubt, right? And not just Teleport and Clefable. That would be a complex ban if you ban Teleport and Clefable, which they don't want to do, whatever. PU recently did one, which is interesting. Actually, no, they just banned the item Heat Rock and they banned Drought, which is really interesting. I guess Manuel's son is just that good as well. But yeah, so I definitely think that we need to see something like a suspect test for Clefable, or a suspect test for Dracovish or something, just kind of to shake it up a little bit, and also just make it like this mon is dominant. This is so much usage. Anyway, but moving on, let's go through the changes. I think we're talking about the rises first. So Escavalier rose from RU to UU. Now, if you look at the UU tier, there's some Pokemon that are extremely dominating. I think Gardevoir is fantastic in UU. Same thing with Haxorus, and Escavalier is actually a pretty cool check to both. Obviously, Gardevoir did get Mystical Fire this generation. That's something to think about. But yeah, are you using Escavalier? I wish I had the usage stats for everything as well. But are you losing Escavalier is, I mean, one of the better steel types I feel in this series. Like, they do have a new one, and I'll talk about it in a sec. But they still obviously do have Steelix. But I like Escavalier a lot, especially because Banded was very like easy to. You punish everything, right? Like, even if you resist, it just takes so much, especially with Sanduscourge being gone. But it moved up from Mario to UU. I would love to know your guys' thoughts on that. I know it's check to Celebi. I know it smacks Bronzong. I know it beats Haxorus in a 1v1 scenario. In a 1v1 scenario, of course. Not if Haxorus is already set up. Like close combat plus the Earthquake, all that stuff, or even +1 is just going to really hurt. So, We also have Barbaracle and Pangoro move up from RUBL to UU. Nice, nice. I think Pangoro is a fantastic wall breaker. I've very much been enjoying it myself as I've been playing through UU tier. And Barbaracle is just good at smashing through with especially dual screens, which I also think Haxorus is phenomenal on too. Which is funny because I feel like Haxorus isn't like the mon you always sweep with on dual screens, but it's the mon that like breaks for other Pokemon to sweep, in my opinion. Same thing with like Necrozma. Necrozma, it doesn't show there, but Necrozma is also a Pokemon that's really been picking up in popularity, and I love Pangoro as an option for it. We had Kingler, I was about to call it Krabby, but we had Kingler move up from, and some of these are really going to matter, by the way, because like RU and PU had some huge changes. The metagame kind of just got flipped on its side, but yeah, we'll talk about it in a sec. But Kingler moved up to the RU tier, and I've been watching a lot of stock stuff lately and like crypto and stuff. Sorry, I'm just like thinking about like my video kind of feels like one of those, but less good. I think Kingler is a great breaker in general. My boy Cyrus, who is a very good RD player, I think is very high on Kingler as well. The fact that it just clicks Liquidation, Swords Dance. I've seen some people use Scarf too. I don't think Scarf is very good, but I think Swords Dance is extremely good. Its ability to break through fatter Pokemon like Lax, and even like not nuke a Vileplume, but do a ton of Vileplume. Especially if you knock off a Vileplume, that's just like a 2 KO for later. Not for necessarily this Pokemon, but for our partners in general. But I think offensive Kingler is good. I mean, maybe not in the current meta because Arya just got quite a few Pokemon that can deal with Kingler, which we'll talk about in a bit. And it's kind of messing me up here as I look at it. It's like, oh man, crap, this Pokemon's in the tier. But from PU to NU, I don't know if these mons are... They're not going to be banned. I'm thinking of the other side. But NU or PU lost Arctivish. I thought Arctivish got quick banned. I could be wrong about that, but PU lost Arctivish. Silvally Fire apparently is in the NU tier, and if you actually just go through quick NU, and I try to just take out like Rapidash and all the mons you guys see right there that drop down as well, like it's having that 120 base power, with stab. The multi-attack is phenomenal for breaking through fairies. You even hurt something like Cofagrigus very, very, very hard. And being able to deal with the Rotom being faster, also being a natural resist to like the Plera from Galarian Rapidash. And again, its speed tier is just so good. And I think it's cool that Silvally Fire. I think it's really nice to see like a Pokemon like that go up, especially because it's very strong. Has a good move pool. All you need is Swords Dance and a good fire move. U-turn from there, and then the rest don't really matter. And its speed tier is so strong too. I've also seen, I think, what is it, like, I got bought by, I don't know if Silvally Fire was necessarily running it, but I remember I got bought by a Grass Pledge. I just want to make sure that I'm thinking about the right Pokemon. I got bought by a Grass Pledge. I think it was by Dreadnought, actually, because I was looking at Dreadnought. I got bought by a Grass Pledge. So, like, even a special attacking one can be really cool too. And that one obviously doesn't care about this Pokemon at all. But yeah, a good wall breaker that came to the tier. I think that's the hat. Is that the hat? Hatchram moved up from PU to NU. Oh, I also think Silvally Fire moving from PU to NU is really interesting for the PU tier because one of the mons that's like super good, though that was more so because I mean it's still amazing, but I know Ninjas had a lot to do with its usage as well, even though Ninjas got banned. Was the Mawile. Mawile was like, I think it was #1 in PU. I don't know if it was #1 in this month, but one of its main, one of its Silvally answers moving up is pretty cool, I think, as well. So that's I think that's a relevant move as well because I think all offensive Silvallies are super good in the PU tier. A few of some of those reasons are the fact that the tier is kind of slow. Just like as you can look at the most speed tiers, like you have Meowstic as one of the fastest mons, and then you have Raichu, and you have the other one, Manectric. Manectric is arguably the better Raichu, but yeah, so like the tier is really slow. So like that mon is just fast, a good defogger, fires, good stab. As you can see right there, also Dragon and Dark moved up too. I love Silvally Dragon too. Like, it's just an offensive check to a lot of things. Like, I use it for Ludicolo, and same thing with like Silvally Dark too. Like, if you're not weak to a stab move from even like I said, a user like Ludicolo, for instance, a rain user like Ludicolo, like obviously Ice Beam hurts Silvally Dragon, but I mean, you live it. You tank one, you do a ton back. And just like these Silvallis just losing their, the PU losing some of them as an ability to break, I think it's interesting. I still think that Silvally flying is one of the best Silvallis. Isn't that funny? They only have 2 Silvallis, apparently, according to this. So I think that's really below PU. Never mind, there's a few more. I'm about to say, like, what? You're missing some Pokemon here. But I find it funny that, you know, I know that fighting is, I think Silvally fighting is great. Like, as much as I love Throw in the tier, I think Silvally fighting is amazing. But yeah, the hat moved up to the NU tier. I'm sure somebody's either using it on some sort of stall squad or just some sort of anti-offense, because I mean it's a spiker, or it's a Pokemon that could potentially at least piss off like Frostlass offensive teams, because you could take a Shadow Ball, you have the Magic Bounce, you can Nuzzle. I'm sure with Violet you're decent enough to also take on like Rocks, Anaconda, and things like that. So you know, it's a deterrent for hazards. Liepard moving from PU to NU is interesting too, because I think in terms of setting weather, Liepard is probably the best Pokemon that PU had. Don't quote me on that. I know Onyx is down there too. PU, I'm never trying to butcher your tiers. For anybody that actually knows their stuff about this, because this is me based on the games I've watched, the minimal games I've played, and also, well, I already said the games I've watched, so yeah, that twice. I'm never trying to butcher your tier, but I think that Liepard moving up is very interesting, especially because they just banned Heat Rock in PU. And yeah, so obviously like Liepard and what's it called, the Onyx were very good manual Sunner setters, and Liepard's also a very good manual Rain setter. So PU losing that, I wonder how Rain will suffer from that, because obviously you just go for Rain Dance with the Prankster. Rain Dance, you hold your Damp Rock, you turn the hell out. You also have Encore to stop setup from things as well. And I think it's just an interesting, I think it's interesting for the meta. I don't think manual Rain will be as strong, but Meowstic has it too. But Meowstic doesn't have the U-turn or anything. I think also offensive Meowstic is way better in the tier, especially because of competitive. You just nasty playing, you smack Pokemon too. So I think that losing one of their main brain setters will be pretty big hit for manual Rain, but I mean not the most, because I mean like Ludicolo is bulky and can set up the Rain Dance. There's other mods that can do it too. Like they're gonna adapt, right? That's it. At the end of the day. And then from ZU to PU, I guess we have ZU tier now. Omar really appreciates the thing, but yeah, we see Silvally Fighting rising up. Again, I think Silvally Fighting is a phenomenal Pokemon. It's a great breaker in the tier. Has U-turn as well for anything that doesn't hit for super effective with fighting. Can run Defog too, and again the fact that they buffed that multi-attack just makes it so good. It's so good. And then we have some other Pokemon, Meowstic. Again, I think Meowstic is a very good nasty plot Pokemon. I think it's also a good dual screen setter as well, in my opinion, because it can do like that mean look dual screen stuff. That's one a couple of those. Gothitelle moved up, which is interesting to say the least. I guess it's bulky enough to take on Pokemon like special attackers like Manectric, and also threaten fighters like Throw in the tier. Throw is obviously a very prominent Pokemon. Graplock as well on a lesser side. And then it has like competitive as well, so it actually, like, if you go to your resistant Maul and you have Intimidate, you give it a special attack raise, so that's a cool one. Obviously it's not Shadow Tag. Palpitoad and Vibrava moved up too. I'm assuming Palpitoad is just the rocker that can also check something like Maul, like Carkol, like whatever. Maybe even a Basculin, because that mon is actually a damn threat when I be playing this tier. Unless you have like a Water Absorb mon like Lapras, even then they're just a Head Smash or Zero Power or whatever. And it's also Stone Journer check too, which I think is a pretty big one, and a Manectric check. So I think those are the bigger ones, obviously, Stone Journer and Manectric. Whereas Vibrava, same thing. Big Manectric check, there's no hidden power. Great Defogger, has U-turn. Probably does the exact same thing it always did: Earthquake, U-turn, Roost, and Defog. So now let's talk about the drops. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts on that, by the way. I want to talk about like the sub thing as well, but I don't want to talk about it here. The subathon I'll talk about in my actual video of the day. But we had quite a few drops. So Let's talk about the kind of OU ones. And again, I think these two drops, I mean, like, there's no way for Untitled are less usage than Ditto and Duckstro, even without our help. Like, I mean, if damn Keldeo, Grimmsnarl, and Mimikyu can be there, same thing. But anyway, from OU to UU, Duckstro's gone. That Mon, let me tell you where that Mon. You see this Mon? You see how it says UU here? Let me show you what tier this Mon's gonna end up in. There you go, ZU. That Mon is gonna end up in ZU. Truth be told, it might actually be good in PU and ZU because of its high speed tier, its ability to outspeed Manectric, at least in PU, and you know, faster than the majority of the tier. And base 100 attack is good. But Duckstro losing an Arena Trap, it's the fall of Duckstro. It happens every single gen. When we ban Arena Trap, I don't even know why we allow Arena Trap, because we're just going to ban it every single time. It just keeps falling down. But I think a Lowland Duckstro is a very good Pokemon because it has, like, in lower tiers, because it has Stab, Steel, and then there's, like, Sand options as well. And then Duckstro, not as much, but faster, and can still work maybe like a 94% lower tiers. But it's going to keep dropping. It's not going to be UU. If anything, a Lowland Duckstro has a bigger niche in the UU tier because you can pair it with Gigalith, and it can hit something like Galarian Weezing for super effective damage with Sand Force boosted Iron Heads. So, Ditto moved down to the UU tier. Interesting. I think this also would have been better when Venusaur was still in the tier, because recently Venusaur was banned, so Ditto would be another nice anti-measure for Sun alongside like Gardevoir or something. But it's cool for like setup Haxorus, definitely for like dual screen type of teams to check them, set up Cobalion and stuff like that. I actually kind of like Ditto. I think Ditto will be healthy for the tier. I don't think that it's going to last in the U tier. I think it's actually better, in my opinion, especially as a builder. And not that I build too much, but like, damn, Blender keeps hitting me up. Let me, I'll respond to him in a sec. But I feel like the lower Ditto drops, the better it is for all tiers, because it's a good odds anti-offense Mon, right? If this Mon drops down to PU, which it won't, but if Ditto drops down to PU, it still lets you, you know, you can use it in every tier above that. So I just don't think, you know, with the fall of Dynamax, with it not even being that great versus offense, honestly, like if I want an anti-offense Mon in OU right now, I'll lose Halucha. I think Halucha's way better versus offense because it actually has a chance of sleeping, whereas Ditto has a lot less, especially versus them balanced teams. Like, it's not like there's regenerator Mons sleeping or like hanging around at the moment where I can't pivot in on Tangrowth and then pivot in on Toxapex and just keep going back and forth, right? Metagame's different, but you can use Ditto to Scald Corviknight. Anyway, I think it would be a pretty cool use for the U tier. Nice little niche in what Ditto does best, which is checking offensive Mons, so checking Haxorus and stuff like that. So they don't want to take a first impression or anything. But there's like certain setup it can't beat. Like, it's a Scarf Ditto ain't beating Toxtricity, and then I'm talking about like Specs Toxtricity because you're gonna do less to it too because of its Punk Rock ability. So if you're switching, you're gonna take a lot. Not beating Comrade Reuniclus. Setup Necrozma, you're probably not beating either. I'm just thinking in terms of HP, in terms of what the attacks have to hit them. But again, checking something like Darmanitan, or even like opposing Sun, if that's even still a thing right now with the Venusaur ban. If people are trying it out. Offensive Cobalion if its Swords Dance is up, and also Shadow Smash Blastoise, Shadow Smash Barbaracle. Cool. UU to RU. Woof! This is going to be fun, man. I cannot wait to play the new RU tier because, and Center Scorch is banned too. Let's go. So, first one we have is Avalugg. Avalugg is dropped down from U to RU. Now, I still believe that Avalugg is very good in the U tier. It still checks Haxorus to an extent. If it's banded, though, obviously not to it KO by close combat. Avalugg was a good UU wall at a point in the metagame where when both Crawdaunt and Obstagoon were in the tier, because it was mandatory on the bulkier teams. It just body presses them both and it walls them. And then to the extent, obviously, it provides rapid sense support. And then us giving heavy-duty boots this generation was a big thing for Avalugg as well. But all that's behind us in the past. Avalugg moved down from UU to the RU tier. Now, if you actually look at the RU tier, there's a few Pokemon that Avalugg does very well versus. It can beat a Beware. It can definitely beat a Banded Beware as long as it's not locked into close combat. Bolton, it's pretty good versus the Braviary that fell, which we'll talk about in a bit. Cinccino. Caparaja, I have to run calcs on that one. The Drapion that just recently dropped too, which I'm also excited. I think all the drops from U to RU is so cool for the RU tier. So like it's a good, like, even if it's weak to it, it's a good physical check to a lot of Pokemon. So even Passimian, man, like Scarf Close Combat don't do that much, and Rollaboom for sure. So like not even an offensive Avalugg, but just like the standard set, recover, body press, Body Press is cool as well if you want to use like an Iron Defense set too. I think that's a really nice one too if you want to beat like Snorlax, which is very prominent here. Same thing with Scrafty if you want to beat those mons. Like an Iron Defense Body Press set could be cool. But like Avalanche, Recover, Rapid Spin, like, I think that stuff is just the standard Avalugg, right? But I do think there is a niche for not even spinning Avalugg, but just an Iron Defense, Body Press. Cyrus tests this out, Recover, and Avalanche. Like no spin. Like I mean, I think it's a good spinner for RU. RU has not the best hazard control in my opinion. Count out Braviary, count out Avalugg because they were in the tier. You got Claydol. Like you know when Claydol is RU, that's when you know things are wrong. You got Cramorant. Decidueye doesn't run Defog. Colossal's there as a spinner. Yeah, keep going. More Pico, sure. And the Rotoms can defog, but we have a new Rotom form now. So like it's not. I guess the Silvally forms too, but like I like offensive Silvallis a little bit better. Then again, Silvally, I like defensive Silvallis too. Excuse me, but I like offensive like Fairy and Ghost. I think offensive Ghost is super good. And you have like Xatu. So it's a really good addition to the tier. I love Avalugg. I think that even an offensive Avalugg or whatever can be really cool. Braviary, woo! Another mon that was a GOAT in your UU tier with Dynamax, busted, hella broken. But as time has happened and passed us, it has fallen down. And I think that RU is going to be its home. First off, great speed tier at base 80. Faster than some prominent Pokemon, some prominent offensive threats. Beware is a big one. And just like on the different side, like Decidueye, speed ties with Passimian, so Choice Scarf sets can do that too. I think one of the coolest things about Braviary is the fact that it has Defiant. So you switch it in on Vileplume going for Strength Sap and you get an attack raise. And you Brave Bird the hell out of them. You have sub bulk up that can work. You have bulk up close combat as well. That can also, you know, that's better than superpower. You don't raise your attack just to lower it. You lower your defenses though. And even then, obviously, like a more offensive set. Sableye does have Encore, so be careful when you're bulking up and stuff like that. But being able to check Rillaboom too. Rillaboom does not have a fighting move. You can sub bulk up on right on. I love its speed tier. I think it's a really cool addition, and because Braviary is just naturally bulky because of its high HP stat, I can set up on weaker Pokemon too, like Gastrodon, for instance, depending on the EV spread. And you could probably even beat Avalugg 1v1 because Avalanche isn't doubled in power unless you get hit. So, cool addition to the tier. Drapion moved from the UU to the RU tier as well. Now, Drapion was another mon that was like very common in UU back when Gengar was UU because it was one of the better offensive dark types for it. The other defensive one would be Umbreon. So, Drapion moving down to UU, a good offensive Pokemon like Sword Stance, a mon that threatens Xatu I like a lot. Same thing with like I think Drapion plus Braviary can be a really cool thing as well, because like if I Sword Stance with my Drapion and they go Vileplume, they're definitely gonna Shrimp Sap after taking the knockoff, because they will tank the knockoff. They're gonna Shrimp Sap, so I'll go Braviary or something, get my boost. But I like it in terms of a poison type in the tiers. You actually look through the tier itself. The only other poison types that's actually touching the ground is Salazzle. So, if I'm not mistaken, and Salazzle's incredible in RU. It's absolutely incredible. But a nice, if there was Pursuit in this gen, oh my god, man. I'd be a good Pursuit Charmer too. But an offensive dark type that's a poison type, absorbs T-Spikes, has a great speed tier, faster than all of the fighting types in the tier as well. Literally all the fighting types in the tier. Speed ties with two of the, and hits for super effective 2 of the Silvally types in the tier. And just has Taunt, can do a lot. And the Pokemon that are faster than it cannot OHKO it and they die to Poison Jab. Fantastic. Like, I think it would be a great mon in the tier. I cannot wait to use it. But speaking of 2 great mons in the tier that I cannot wait to use, Duraludon. About damn time, man. Since RU banned Goodra, it hasn't had any crazy wall breakers. In my opinion. This is big. I don't think that's a bad thing, by the way. But it hasn't had a crazy wall breaker, like crazy dragon type wall breaker. Let me be a little bit more accurate like that, right? Because the thing with Goodra was that Goodra could threaten even the fairy types with Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, but that's not stab, baby. Let me threaten you with a Specs Flash Cannon from my Duraludon, or a Specs Draco, or a Specs Thunderbolt. The only given thing is that this Pokemon, or the only like good thing is that this Pokemon doesn't get or have access to rather a fire move for whatever reason. But I think a Specs Avalugg gonna go nasty in RU. I wonder how RU gonna like what the actual thing is gonna be. I also think that Avalugg has some interesting stuff that will allow it to beat Pokemon that are supposed to quote unquote counter it. I mean Duraludon, excuse me. I called it Avalugg. I think that one like a sleeper set could even be like like an iron defense body press set, and this will allow it to bop something like Snorlax, for instance, trying to beat it 1v1. So that's a pretty cool thing. Has a great high defense as well. But yeah, I'm more so a fan of specs and click button, because I think that's going to be fantastic in the tier, because Draco, Flash Cannon, and Thunderbolt, for the most part, I don't think have any resists in this tier. In this tier at all. And I don't even know if they have resist in general. I'm not even thinking about anything right now off the top of my head. I mean, Shedinja, whatever. But yeah, great resist. Decent speed tier as well. At base 85, I think base 85 is a big thing too. Puts it above Braviary, which is cool because it resists as well, like Brave Bird and whatnot. But it's still slower than Pokemon like Charizard, and Charizard can easily check it with a fire type move. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Obviously, I'm leaning more towards the more offensive one, not the Iron Defense one. But speaking of an offensive Pokemon that I think would be so much better if stupid Vaporeon didn't just drop as well. But Inteleon, Specs Inteleon looks really nasty. It's basically mini Greninja, right? Like, look at its stats, man. Why would you not give it Nasty Plot? But I just realized you guys can barely see what I was doing. But Hydro Pump, U-Turn, right? You got Dark Pulse from them Jellicents. You got Ice Beam. I think Specs is going to be really cool. I wish this thing got spikes. I'm not at the moment. I'm just basically calling it Greninja. But I think for dual screens offense could be really cool too. Not that there's not a lot that I feel like will benefit from it in the RU. Maybe like Rillaboom or something, or like a Sylvia type. I'd rather use Ice Cream, like either Ice Cream for just offensive Blizzard spamming or Revel. I'm not talking about in place of Inteleon, but I think that Inteleon will find its home here. Offensively, it's gonna hit very hard. Like Specs Hydro Pump, especially in Torrent. God, you're doing so much. I think even Snorlax is taking like 70% from that or something if you're in Torrent. And you get free switching, and the best part is you have such a good speed tier at base 120. Like, I think that's the best part. You have such a good speed tier at base 120. Only outsped by like Bolton and a Selgor in the tier, if I'm not mistaken, as well as let me see if I only outsped by those two, and it's on an offensive water type that checks Salazzle. Let's freaking go. So I'm excited to see how this thing goes. Obviously, as you guys saw from Yu to RU, they also lost Vaporeon. So obviously that's one of the better checks to this Pokemon. They probably have to run Spadef though. I'm sure with Spikes and Hazards I could do a little bit of damage to that Mon with Dark Pulse or whatnot, and you can U-turn out of there. But excited to see Inteleon because I think that Specs is going to be a nice breaker. I'm liking that. We got some nice wall breakers right here, which makes me very happy. Not that RU was lacking like too many. Like, I mean, Beware and Passimian I'd argue are huge wall breakers, especially with the Choice Man. Rotomo fell down to the tier. And again, good speed tier, faster than Braviary. Good Scarfer because it's a good Electric type Scarfer because it's an Electric type that has Stab Grass, so it threatens ground types, which are obviously immune to that. Outspeeds Simeon too, has access to Nasty Plot, so it can be a wall breaker as well. I'm sure you could run some type of Berry as well and do the 50-50 with Salazzle. But I don't think it's going to be broken. I think it'll find its place. I think it's a cool offensive Grass type as like an option over Vileplume, for instance, because Vileplume would be defensive. I think it's a really cool offensive one. And obviously, you know, we have Virizion there, which is great. We have Whimsicott, which can both run defensive and offensive. But I do think that like a Nasty Plot, and then we have the Decidueye as well. But I do think like a Nasty Plot set and Rillaboom. But damn, man, you got like a whole bunch of grass types. Forget what I was saying. But again, I'm trying to say that I do think that it would be a cool offensive grass type, or even just a deterrent with like Will-O-Wisp and Hex. Not Hex, excuse me. I'm thinking about Rotom, but Will-O-Wisp. Volt Switch type of thing, Leaf Storm, Pain Split, something like that could be really cool. Pair with Zatu, pair with anything really. Pair with Vaporeon for sure too. But yeah, I want to see how Rotom goes. And again, like I said, I like that Vaporeon fell down. We got a nice little Wish Passer in the tier. A very good Wish Passer in the tier. I don't have to use crappy Aromatisse. I'm sorry, I don't think Aromatisse is very good. Because Aromatisse, the problem with Aromatisse is that, like, I mean, Vaporeon has to do it too, but Vaporeon is bulkier. But the problem with Aromatisse is that it has to worry about healing itself or healing its teammates, and if it heals itself, then it's not healing its teammates, right? It's not Clefable. Clefable has Magic Guard. It's not Alomola, which doesn't exist because Alomola has Regenerator. It's not Vaporeon because Vaporeon has base 130 HP. So even when it takes like 40% from a move, sometimes it can come in and still not be 2-hit KO, right? Aromatisse has less. So good fat Wish Passer, nice for balances, nice for stall variants as well, and good as just like an answer to Pokemon like Inteleon. Maybe we might see a Spadef set too. I could take on a lot of the tier as well. So good Charizard check too. So If it's Spadef and Charizard is not Specs, because Specs Hurricane still hurts if it lands. But I really like the RU tier, and I feel like a lot of things have been changed. For those that play RU, that main RU, what do you think is going to be good? What do you think is going to be busted? What do you think will be banned? Do you think anything like that will happen? Please let me know your thoughts down below. I really want to know. And let's talk about from RU to NU. Okay. So I'm going to skip a lot of these drops because a lot of them are just like, they're going to keep falling. First off, Corsola. I guess it's a rocker. I mean, Corsola do rocks as well. Whatever. I don't want to rock. Corsola going to keep falling. It's going to keep falling, in my opinion. Let me think if it has like a huge niche at the top of my head. Doesn't really check a lot of the tier. Nope. Corsola going to keep falling. That's it. It's going to keep falling. All right. Lowland Ductrio fell to the tier. Now, Lowland Ductrio actually can work with... I think it can play some fun games with Sandspit. Sandaconda. Sandaconda, one of the best mons in the NU tier, and it does have the ability to set up sand. So I think it can do something fun with that because it has such a good speed tier. And like I said, with Sand Force and Life Orb, it actually hits hard, pretty heavy, like coming off that Iron Head, that Earthquake. So I actually do think it has a cool niche. Also, Jolteon check as long as it's not clicking Smack Shadow Ball. And it's a Pokemon that doesn't care about Clefairy, excuse me. And so I think that's actually a pretty cool fit to the tier. Maybe even not even like on a Sand Force type of team, but just Life Orb or just offensive in general, even Banded, because Iron Head is just a good move in general. We have Farfetch fell down, gonna keep falling. Go, you're not a Pokemon. Keep going down to the Z, keep falling. Flapple fell down. Now Flapple is a good Pokemon. Okay, Flapple is a good Pokemon. Not only does it have a decent speed tier in terms of base 70, but obviously the hustle, the outrage, and whatnot. If that boy can hit, it can do it. Now. It can. The cool thing about it is like it being 4 times resistant to water. It can set up on bulky waters like Quagsire. Because Quagsire is definitely not going to stay in. Cool fish. Be careful about poison jab, scald, and whatnot. I think another cool thing is that it naturally like resists like the moves from Sandaconda, or like its stab move. So I think it's a really, really cool addition to that Pokemon. And if you actually manage to hit your attacks, and the fact you have Sucker Punch too, for even like maybe like a Scarf Rapidash trying to revenge kill you with Play Rough, that you can if you land and obviously it's not weak to it, it's neutral. But I mean Flapple at +1 with a Life Orb with Sucker Punch or whatever, it's so strong. Like I mean this mon is so strong. I'm excited to see Wall Breaker Flapple, even like a Banded set. Like this is a mon that can 2-hit KO all the walls in the tier. Even through, I think, Mummy, it's still 2-hit KOs Clefairy just because Grav Apple lowers your defense. So, Grav Apple doesn't activate by Mummy. I'm thinking about Outrage, but I'm pretty sure Outrage doesn't lower your defense either. But I'm pretty sure Outrage into what's it called? Outrage into Mummy Outrage, so not an Outrage that won't miss and not Hustle. I'm pretty sure it's still 2-hit KO off your choice band for sure. So I love its speed tier. I think it's gonna be a cool breaker. I think that's one of the funner additions. I think. Linoon is another cool one that fell down to the NU tier. Been a minute since Linoon I think has ever been down here for a while, because the what's it called? I feel like was it Gen 4 maybe? Last time maybe Gen 5 was there too. I don't know, but I know for sure it was RU last gen, especially because they nerfed the berries this gen, so you don't get the 50% anymore. You get like 33% or whatever from the Super Citrus berries they call them. So. Cool belly drum user though, for sure. Faster than a lot of the tier. Extreme speed, obviously. There's no like fast ghost besides Frostlass off the top of my head. I guess Gourgeist too, technically, but yeah. Extreme speed is great. You have you have Stomping Tantrum. You probably have to run Seed Bomb though in this tier. I don't think you can run Stomping Tantrum. I mean, there's too many great steel types. There's Pharaoh Seed. And I believe we saw Melton, which, again, it's just going to keep dropping. That's another mon that came down. Don't worry. And there's Berserker. Berserker's pretty bulky, so there's maybe one. So you have to pick your poison. I definitely think you want Throat Chop, though. Throat Chop should hit neutral on Berserker. I'm sure that does like 70% at +6, something around there, so just weaken it. But you want a Throat Chop for sure because you need to be able to hit one of the best Pokemons here in Clefairy. And then I think you need Seed Bomb for sure as well because as much as you're going to hit like bulky waters anyway with extreme speed, Quagsire is just a hard wall, and I'm pretty sure Quagsire is only 2-hit KO'd by apply Seed Bomb just because of its unaware. That's what I'm talking about. Like unaware lets you resist that. So interesting addition. Maybe we'll see some sort of offensive squads with dual screens, and that'd be fun. I mean, Orbeetle can do it. It can set up Stick Web. It can set up dual screens. So that'd be a fun one. Lipard can Thunder Wave and assist with Encore. I think that can also help out Flapple as well too. So I think that'd be a nice little one. We have the a Lowland Persian. Another mon that can help, I think, support Pokemon. This is a decent tier for Lowland Persian. I don't know if it'll keep dropping, but it has a great speed tier, has Taunt, has Parting Shot, can annoy the hell out of Pokemon like Asparagus. Also has access to Nasty Plot, which I've been swept by multiple times in random battles. But has a really good speed tier, so maybe even Nasty Plot might actually do something. Let me look at its... Because I always get swept by Power Gym Dark Pulse. Does it have more than that? Is that the extent of this Pokemon? You don't get Grass, I get Thunderbolt. Huh. Not bad coverage in the tier. You don't break through Clary, but shoot, hit Hypnosis and beat it like you do in random battles. That's it. You put him to sleep and you Nasty Plot up and win. But it can be a little bit of annoyance, especially with Parting Shot support. Unfortunately, without Z Parting Shot, you know, not being able to support the team. I would definitely, if I was to test out, like just my opinion, if I was to test out a Lowland Persian, I'd definitely test it out with a Linoon, just a Parting Shot and Taunt, and see if I can. Sorry, just smack my garbage can. Just see if I can get the the setup going with that. Something with Gravel as well. I think another cool thing about Persian is, if I'm not mistaken, come back to me, please. Do you learn this move? I'm pretty sure you do. Yes, you do. So, can also be another, wants to be a bad Lipard, but can also be a Lipard in a sense by setting up this faster. But yeah, Rapidash has a really good speed tier, good offensive coverage, has Swords Dance this generation, and I like it as a breaker in the tier. And it's also resistant to ice, which is nice with that. I like it in the tier. I think Indeedee is still phenomenal, or not this Indeedee. I'm thinking about Ardu. Sorry about that. Good speed tier. Can't not break Quagsire unless you're running SD Solar Blade, which is also something you can use. Fire is a good offensive typing. As we've seen, we have Silvally Fire up here. I'm digging offensive Rapidash. Heavy duty boots, making fire types actually be, you know, good in this generation too. Like just staples. Excited to try it out. And last but not least, Stunfisk Rocker in the tier. Definitely better than Galarian Stunfisk, that's for sure. Maybe Galarian Stunfisk has a niche because it's a steel type in the tier besides like Kling Clang and Feral Seed and Berserker. That's about it. Can actually like not care. It can snap trap. It can snap trap Clefairy and curse it. I'm thinking about the other one. But I'm sure this model will move down a little bit more. Just it's a good Jolteon check for the tier. Don't get me wrong, a good Rotom fan check as well. And has Discharge and can throw out Scalds and Rock. From Menu to PU, I think PU also got some massive changes too, so I'm excited to play the new PU tier. Guys, for those that have gotten this far, leave me RU and leave me PU teams. Go to my website, pokeaimMD.com, go to the team section, and submit a team there. Also, if you want to use any of my teams, go to the team section. But yeah, submit a team there. So, NU to PU. Woof! I'm going to go from the ones that I'm excited about the most. Let's go talk about big old... Am I getting hit? What is this text message? Did you take my money? Geico payment, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, thank you so much for taking my money. Okay, so Phalanx. I like it. Why? Why do I like Phalanx in this tier? It has Defiant. First off, it's a fighting type, so it naturally resists Pokemon like Stonjourner. It has no retreat, so it gets a boost. It has Throat Chop, so it can actually hit the Psychic types in the tier. And the good thing about the Psychic types in the tier, very few of them are Psychic plus Fairy, which means it's neutral. And even though you can Iron Head them, but like it's good. Like most of the Ghost types and the Psychic types in the tier, you can actually hit for super effective with Throat Chop, is what I'm trying to say, right? Like Meowstic, for instance, is not Fairy plus Psychic. So it's actually being hit for super effective. It's only pure Psychic, so it's getting hit for super effective by a no retreat one. So I'm excited to see how Phalanx works in the tier. I think this will be the tier for Phalanx. It sucks that like I feel like this mon and you know like Ice Q as well, which is below PU, makes me really sad. Makes me very sad because I think that these Pokemon have such cool little attributes and they're just short of being very good Pokemon. But I'm excited to see how that mon sweeps the tier, or if it even does sweep, or even be good. PU mains, let me know your thoughts on that. Leave some teams for me, please. Megazard, leave some teams. God, go to my pokeaimMD website. But I think the best thing about that mon is the fact that it has Defiance. So like you can't check it by normal means of checking fighting types or even like physical attackers, which is like go Mawile and intimidate them because you will give it a boost. But the fact that also you only basically need no retreat, close combat, Throat Chop, right? From there you can run Swords Dance, and after you get a boost on maybe a Lumberry, so you get like a +3 attack raise. I'm excited to see how Phalanx goes. Double is another mon I'm very excited about. because I think double, if you're not running a ghost type, I think double can straight up sweep you. That's my honest thing. Basculin hits hard. Sojourner hits hard. Whatever, I don't care. It's a physical wall. This Mon will beat throws that are not boosting. This Mon will probably beat Silvally Fightings too that are not already in. As long as you get enough cotton guards into body presses. Like, I cannot wait to try this Mon out with some T-Spikes and see how it works in the tier. Crustal's another one too, especially with the addition of, once again, we're going back to random battles, but the fact that I've been swept so many times by Heavy Duty Boots plus Shell Smash is so cool. Also gives a nice little spiker in the tier alongside Carkol. A pretty cool spiker in the tier alongside Carkol and Stealth Rocker as well that can potentially beat some of the defoggers and the Silvally types. So those three I'm most excited about. Actually, if we're being honest, I'm excited about Hitmontop too. I don't think Hitmontop has ever been PU. I think last generation, and you never let go of Hitmontop. So I think that's going to be a good spinner in the tier, another good intimidator. I think Hitmontop also has a lot of offensive capability because like the physical walls for it will be the slowpoke that fell down. That Mon's going to keep falling. You know, funny enough, yeah, you get slack off. Yeah. Or you get boosted. I feel like you get boosted by a Violet. Huh. Yo, maybe P is the tier where this Mon actually does something. Like as a physical water fighting. Yo, maybe that's it. Yo, maybe that's it, bro. Hey, Throw, watch out. My base 90, you're going to knock me off, aren't you? Maybe. I'm like skimming over that Mon. But Hitmontop has some cool offensive options. I think people fail to realize like his base 95 attack because you never use it offensively, really. Unless people use Technotop and a lot. I mean, Technotop was a thing back in Gen 4. A lot of people that use Technotop is basically Technician plus like a million moves that get boosted by Technician. Like, that's it. It's basically priority the Pokemon. That's like a lot of it. Though now you can add Rapid Spin, which is not boosted, but no, it is boosted. I was reading it wrong. What was I thinking about that? It was like over that something. But Rapid Spin, which is very strong too. But I think it's a good Rapid Spinner in the tier. It's a good Rapid Spinner because it's a Rapid Spinner that can Rapid Spin on Ghost types because it has Foresight. So, yeah. Sorry for that Mon too. Appleton. Oof. How the mighty have fallen, right, Mr. Jamvet? Appleton. Fun offensive Mon. Fun defensive Mon too. Base 100, I think Draco is going to be pretty cool. I think one of the biggest things about Appleton is that it's like Manectric like Manectric don't do crap to me, man, with thick fat. I resist 4 times electric moves. I can, with defensive natures, I can take on the likes of Mawile even because most Mawile is not defensive. I can lead seed things. I take on Stonejourner as well, which is pretty big. And Appleton is nice and thick. Cool Mon in this here. Really good prominent wall, I think, that can actually do it. Like, I think it's a really good wall. Like, I'm looking at the tier. It just walls a lot. Roselia is great offensively, though, in my opinion. I think people sleep. But then it has a really cool move pool, like Dragon Pull. I'm just clicking on moves that it gets that are offensive, just like to note. Gets Earthquake, Sucker Punch, Curse, recovers. So Appleton might really appreciate this tier. And again, PU means please let me know because I feel like in theory this Mon could be great offensively. It could be great defensively as well. I think. In practice, I think it's going to be great defensively. I think in theory, it could be really good offensively, too, because that's great coverage. It also gets superpower as well. So I think it'd be really cool, and it gets cursed, too. And last but not least, we have Mr. Rhyme. Now, Mr. Mime is actually, Galarian Mr. Mime is actually NU, because I think it's faster, which makes a huge difference. I mean, I know it's faster, but I think it's because it's faster, which makes an absolutely huge difference for that Pokemon. And obviously, running heavy duty boots and everything, Nasty Plot, just being a fast sweeper is really cool. But Mr. Rhyme falls down here. Screen Cleaner can be cool for screens, obviously. Provides healing with support. Can Nasty Plot has a decent speed tier as well. I'm like iffy about it. I feel like as far as offensive ice types go, I'd rather use Glaceon or even Lapras. I think Lapras is great. I think Glaceon is great too. Like, especially Glaceon is phenomenal. Ice Beam and Freeze Dry everything, right? I think it's better than this Mon, even though this Mon is base 110 and it is faster than Glaceon. But Glaceon is base 130, which makes a difference. But it's faster than Fracture, which is a pretty cool thing. Maybe you can run like Freeze Dry Protect for first impression. I'm sure you live first impression as well, unless it's banded. But I mean, good support for the tier. Can provide Trick Room support as well. It's fast, which is I think a big thing for this mon, but like being slower than Phalanx, I think is a big thing as well, which just dropped down in a tier. Um, Heavy duty boots helps with the rocks, huh? But like it's also, I think had it been like faster than Stonejourner by even a point, I think that make its viability a lot better. Even though Stonejourner can run Scarf too, but like just being faster than offensive Stonejourner. But I mean, either way, Ice is good offensive typing. Psychic is decent offensive typing because it's paired with Fighting type, which it gets Focus Blast. So and Dazzling Gleam, which also deals with like there's a whole lot of things with Dark types. So cool, come on. Wish it was faster, obviously. I don't think it would have been down here if it was faster. And last but not least, from PU to ZU, we have Thievel and Trapinch. Trapinch dropped down because Trapinch no longer has the Arena Trap, so it's not trapping Manectric anymore. It's not trapping Stonejourner anymore. It's not trapping Mawile, so it's going to keep dropping. Whatever. Thievel moved down to ZU. Thievel, I think it still do things with Pincurchin in the tier, but I mean, its inability to break anything because of its bad coverage. Well, you have Dark Pulse, Grass Knot, and Psychic. Is that your coverage? Psychic is good for throw, but like, Dark Pulse and Psychic are not the best. You need fighting coverage in that, man. You really do. To be, busted or good. But yeah, I wonder how ZU would do that. I haven't really touched the ZU tier too much this generation. If I think it's new. Is it new? Or I haven't touched ZU at all this gen. Maybe I have. Maybe I have. Or maybe I'm thinking about PU. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that, guys. This is basically me just rambling on and on about these Pokemon. Let me know what you think about the changes. I'm going to do my best to get a Showdown live up later today. I really want to thank everybody, especially for the subathon. It was absolutely phenomenal. But I want to talk about in this Showdown live. But I appreciate y'all. Leave a like. Let me know your thoughts. We saved T-Tar. Cool. I think T-Tar would have been saved anyway. Just looking at a lot of angry people in that thread, which is hilarious to me. Like, I don't care. I just want to have fun and play Pokemon. That's what I do. But, yeah. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you next time. Peace.